I learned my lesson in April. Don't fucking sell even if sentiment is shit. Again, what did I tell you guys 3 days ago? Again, I'm not saying that I know the future, but what did we say 3 days ago? What did we say on Thursday and Friday? Fear index was at a fucking 6, which means the people who are already panic selling have already panic sold. And unless there's another catalyst that comes out, the panic sellers have sold. There is much better of a chance of a catalyst to drive us to the upside than a further leg down. Remember, we didn't hit a 6 on the fear and greed index until April 11th. We were already 25% down before we hit that, and that was close to the bottom. The fear and greed index is a very important indicator when it comes to market sentiment, especially for retail and active investors, because fear going down, that's when people panic sell on the way down, right? So when you're at a fear and greed index of 6 and there's not another catalyst for a sell-off, you've basically said panic sellers have sold. So unless there's another very big negative catalyst to push us down, the chances are money on the sidelines of selling or sitting on the sidelines waiting now has an opportunity. And whenever the dust settles, now's the time to grab the dip. Just like when the greed index is at a fucking 90 something like it was last year or whatever, that's the last of the fucking FOMO people are jumping in now. So the chances of a downward spike because of a piece of sentiment is much higher than an upward spike. You can still keep going up, but it's going to react more. Now, I'm not saying the market isn't due for another correction or another bear market. Absolutely. But in the short term, when you see a sell-off of only 4.5 or 5% of the S&P 500, but fear index is down to a 6, you're basically looking at that is a indicator of people that are panic selling have already panic sold. Okay? Look, glad I got out of this casino while I still could. We're in a bubble, sell everything. I'm selling everything today. Everyone ready for a 67% market correction. Reversal in an hour. Take SPY puts. Look at this. When you can go from here to here, 5.5% down, that's not even a correction, and fear index is at a 6, you're basically asking for a run again. Why did the fear index fall so much if the S&P was only down 5.5%? Because it wasn't the Mag 7, which is the real S&P, that fell so much. It was all the spec momentum and fucking retail darling stocks. AI, quantum, fucking EVs, fucking, all those are the ones that got hit 30, 40, 50, 60% down. Those are your panic sellers. Those are your fucking retail investors. Those are the ones that are panic selling, right? They got out. Fun fact, Google was the only Mag 7 green last week. So again, I am not telling you that the market's never going back down again. We could easily have it. But the S&P 500, okay, in just since Friday morning, has now gone 5%. We have gone almost a year's average return on the S&P 500, or at least 6 months average return in 3 trading days. Now, I am not telling you I can see the future. I'm not telling you I have some secret sauce or understanding of this market. Okay, it is an irrational market. But there are certain things that give you a better understanding of how the market reacts. People are all paying attention to the wrong things in this current market because the market evolves. And in this market right now, there is too much goddamn money. It is all still flowing in. The average American, 50% higher, 50% more people in the market than there was pre-pandemic. $5 billion a day from retail. Most of that's just dollar cost averaging. That stops capitulation. And on top of that, everyone's looking for an entry. And so when the fear is that low and we don't have a reason for it to go down other than de-risking, de-leveraging, and P&L balancing, you wait for the dust to settle, a positive catalyst. Remember what I told you guys last week? This market is waiting for a positive catalyst. And the moment it does, this thing is going to violently go up. It'll sell off. We're in a kangaroo market, but that's what happens. So you leg in, you leg out. You leg in, you leg out. Thanks for ZS stock. Yeah, I can afford a turkey tomorrow. The crazy thing is that I bought these contracts at 330 and 250. They got down to 180. Now they're at 301. That IV crush fucking sucked. Now, I am not in any way one of those assholes out here trying to be like, I fucking told you so. Oh, listen, I know the market's going to do. I always fucking know. Oh, that is not the case. Because I unlike that guy earlier, I understand that it is not up to me and what I see and whatever that matters. It's way more money and way more positions and things that I can't see and I have no involvement in that to decide the direction of this market. But I do understand retail. I've had the largest live stream retail audience in the world for 5 years. I understand the retail sentiment pretty well. And retail has an effect on this market. So that gives me a little bit of an understanding of what to look for. It doesn't mean I'm going to be right, but it gives me an understanding. And so I'm going to go based off of those indicators and not what I read on Reddit or what some fucking JP Morgan analyst says. I'm going to focus on all the other things. The amount of money coming in. The TINA. There is no alternative right now. Real estate's too expensive for everybody. Commodities are fucking suck. Tariffs are messing up fucking Forex. Okay, crypto's getting fucking smashed. Dollar's dying. Where are you going to put your money? In fucking stock market. So if you understand, you follow the money, you know that there's that. And the average person, yeah, but everyone's going to lose. Everyone's going to sell their stocks. Who? Kyle with his $600 fucking Robinhood account that he's fucking balls deep in IONQ and ACHR and fucking Open Door and Beyond Meat? No. Who cares? The average American, which 50% more people have stocks, are not going to sell their fucking stocks. They don't watch the stock market on a day-to-day basis. The only way they're going to fucking sell their stocks is if they have to pay bills. But they don't have to pay bills because they own homes. And the ones that own homes, 80% of Americans have a mortgage under 6% and 60% have under 4%. And the equity in their home is up. They can tap into that equity. They're not house poor. They have plenty of equity. They have HELOCs. They have reverse mortgages if they have to. They're not going to fucking sell their stocks. They're only going to sell their stocks if they go long-term unemployment, they lose their job, and on top of that, they've tapped the equity in their homes, which hasn't happened yet. Then the last resort is to fucking tap out on their 401k. Yeah, but there's a record amount of hardship withdrawals from the 401ks and IRAs right now. Yeah, because there's a record amount of fucking money in it. If there was 10 million last year and there's 50 million this year in withdrawals, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah, but if you went from 100 billion to 10 trillion, then it's nothing. It's a record amount, but it's a record low percentage as well. But everybody wants to give you the headlines and shit like that. So it's just like, okay, yeah, but there's a lot of Americans that are struggling out there. You're right. And there's a lot of Americans that are doing really well. More Americans are doing better than they ever have. But the thing is that the people who are being left behind are being crushed more than they ever have. But those people aren't in the stock market. It doesn't mean that I don't care about them. It's just when you understand the economy and the market are not the same thing. So why would the market crash right now? Why? Tell me one reason why the stock market is going to crash right now. Economic collapses don't happen because of public debt. They happen because of private debt. Most of the private debt that is unserviceable right now is by people who aren't exposed in the stock market. Bubble fears? Bubble fears is the reason the market's going to crash. That would require all of these motherfuckers who don't pay attention to the stock market, who have 401ks, to liquidate their 401ks right now. Take the penalty, take the tax hit. China invading Taiwan? Okay, until they do, okay, that's a theoretical. What right now today? Trump? Again, you're just throwing trigger words out there. All the people who say Trump don't understand the stock market. I'm not asking you about what Trump might do. I'm saying what right now is the catalyst for the market crash. Not what could be the catalyst. A fucking asteroid, okay, could be the fucking catalyst, okay? Fucking solar flare, all right? We could have a fucking aliens fucking come up from under the ocean where their actual military bases or their UFO bases are and come up and land. Okay, there's a lot of things that could happen. Everybody thought we were going to crash because of the tariffs. I talked about why that wasn't going to happen. Iran and Israel. Every political streamer out there is fucking stupid. All fucking idiots. Yeah, the ports are empty. No, they're not, you dipshit. Stop spreading lies. Yeah, the shelves are going to be empty. We don't get our food from China, dipshit. What are you fucking talking about? The tariffs are going to, the countries aren't going to want to do it. Yeah, tariffs are fucking stupid, but nothing has made the market, U.S. market, uninvestable over the next 20 years, 30 years. And the market is 20, 30 years down the run. People are buying this dip. Yeah, but the Hawley Act, that was 100 years ago, you dumb fuck. We had one trading partner. It took us 30 days to fucking get shipments there. Okay, we're an international global thing right now. Yeah, but debt is so high. Okay, fine. Tell me about the debt. I hate these fucking political streamers. Tell me about the debt. Go ahead, tell me. We're $36 trillion in debt. Yeah, you're right. Go on. Yeah, well, it's unsustainable. Why? Why is that unsustainable? I don't like it. Don't get me wrong, but why is that unsustainable? Didn't they say that 20 years ago? They have the money printer. The more they print, the less the debt it costs them. It's the same way as a house. When you buy a house now and you take on that debt, you know that based on either the appreciation of the property or the devaluation of the dollar, the amount of debt to your net worth and to your income right now is going to be much lower in the future. Same thing with the government. When they printed 20 trillion of it 10 years ago, the dollar has lost 40% of its value. So guess what? That 20 trillion is really only worth about 12 trillion now. It's a fucking horrible hack. And as long as U.S. has the biggest military, and as long as the dollar reserve currency of the world, people are still going to borrow and take debt on from the United States, they can keep printing. It can't last forever. You're right, but where's the end of the road? This isn't an endorsement of what's going on. This is just an understanding. The world is $320 trillion in debt. Who the fuck do we owe? Money's not real, bro. We're propped up on greed, hopes, and dreams, and fucking backdoor handshakes. The idea is just to live long enough to not die before it eventually all comes crumbling down. It's a fucked up system, but that's the system we have. So this idea that oh my God, the market's going to crash because the AI bubble. We're always in a fucking bubble. And the people who yell the loudest of the bubble about a bubble are the ones on the sidelines every single time. The people who are all pissed about Palantir's valuation didn't buy with us at $7. The people that are pissed about the stock market sold in April. or sold when Burry told him to sell in January of 2023? Who do you think's pissed about housing prices? And this is going to sound fucked up, but I'm being honest. People who don't own a house. Everybody who owns a house is like, fuck yeah, my house went up in value. It's true, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it works. I'm not saying that we're in a world of haves and have-nots and get over it. I'm just saying that's how things work, right? Who do you think is the angriest people online? The ones who don't have someone getting them off. So they hate the people that don't get them off, or they hate the people that are with them, right? Talking about you dudes. Ladies, women hate each other. That's just how it is. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, we are that way. We don't like when things aren't fair. And that's totally okay. That's human. That's to be human. But we don't want to admit that. And so it is what it is. But when it comes to the stock market, yes, we could have a correction at any moment. We could have a crash at any moment. But if you're going to sit on the sidelines saying, oh, I'm not going to be in here because there's a crash coming, if the market goes 200% and then falls 50%, you're still missing out on 100% return. If you buy and then it does crash, guess what? You get to buy a shitload more at the bottom. I feel like he has this rant at least twice a week. It's good to have a reminder for some people because a lot of people in this community really freaked out last week and started liquidating.